Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Wooden Railway Adventures, Episode 154, The Great Western Way. It was summertime on the island of Sodor, and between the raging heat and the complaining passengers, the little western branch line was kept very busy. Duck and Oliver were constantly pushing and pulling trains everywhere to keep up with the demand. Because of their busy work schedule, however, their tempers were as hot as the temperatures, and they quickly became cross with one another. One morning, Duck arrived at Tidmouth Station with his passengers. He needed to fill up on water, but there was a train blocking his line. "Oh, Oliver," said Duck crossly, "he left his train on the line here again. How many times is he going to do that?" "We don't have time to move the car," said his driver. "These passengers can't be late to the station. We'll have to fill up somewhere else." "If I run out of water, this is going to be Oliver's fault," said Duck, and he began to back away. A short while later, he rolled to a stop at the docks. His water tank had run dry. "Told you," said Duck crossly. "Now what are we going to do?" Just then the dockmaster walked up. "Henry is coming through with the express right now. This is the only open line and we need to move you." "Quick," said Duck. "Get the passengers out of here." "Don't worry me, Hearty," said Salty as he coupled to the coaches. "I'll pull you to safety." But Salty wasn't strong enough to pull Duck in the heavy coach. "Just take the coach then," said Duck quickly. "Keep the passengers safe." Salty moved the train into a siding just in time. Henry rounded the bend, and there was Duck, right in his way. "Look out!" cried Henry, and he applied his brakes. He hit Duck very hard, which sent him spinning off the track and into a shallow portion of the harbor. "Whoops," said Henry. "That's what you get for being in the way of the express." Duck was more cross than hurt. In fact, Henry was just fine and left with the express a short while later. While he was glad that the passengers were safe, Duck was still cross at Oliver for getting him into the situation. Duck was lifted out of the harbor during high tide that evening and went back to Elsbridge Station. Oliver was there, and he and Toad were telling jokes. "There you are, Duck," said Oliver. "I was wondering where you went." "I was at the docks pretending to be a fish," said Duck crossly. "You left your cars on the line again at Tidmouth, and made me run out of water at the docks and cause a crash." "Sorry," said Oliver. "I didn't mean to." Just then Sir Topham had arrived. He had urgent news. "Tomorrow is the 4th of July, and I believe that the railway inspector is planning a surprise visit. However, I'm thinking he won't look like a regular inspector. He's going to be, undercover." "Why doesn't he get out of bed, then?" asked Oliver cheekily. "Enough with the jokes," said Duck sternly. "I already experienced one today." "Just because you were lazy and forgot to fill up on water doesn't make it my fault," retorted Oliver. "Enough!" shouted Sir Topham Hatt. "My goodness, let's worry about the railway inspector and then fight about petty things later, shall we?" "But, sir," said Duck, "there are going to be so many passengers here because of the holiday that it's going to be hard to pick him out from all of the people." "Exactly. You two must be very watchful and try to pick him out from the crowd. If you spot him, make sure he gets on your train. Then, give him the best experience ever so we can get a favorable review." "I will do my part, sir," said Duck. "I sure hope Oliver doesn't mess up again here like he did today." "Just because you've been on the railway longer doesn't mean you can tell me what to do," retorted Oliver. "Silence!" said Sir Topham Hatt. "If you two can't say anything nice, don't say it at all." Duck and Oliver didn't speak another word. "Very well. Please leave today's problems behind you and focus on tomorrow's events. If you do well, you can go watch the fireworks that evening." Sir Topham Hatt walked away and left the two engines alone. Duck and Oliver still didn't say a word, and they still hadn't talked to each other the next morning either. Things were growing uncomfortable. "You two better be ready," said Nelson. "I hear from Jack and Alfie that there are a ton of passengers at the docks. It's going to be a very busy day." Just then Bertie arrived. Out streamed many, many passengers onto the bridge. "Whoa," said Oliver. "There's a lot of people here." "Try and spot the railway inspector," said Duck quickly. "Don't tell me what to do," said Oliver. "I can handle things just fine." Suddenly Duck spotted a man. "That might be him," he said. "He looks quite serious." At the same time, Oliver spotted a lady who was dressed up very nice. Sir Topham Hatt didn't say if the railway inspector was a man or a woman, so that could be her. However, the two didn't tell each other what they had just seen. The guard's whistle blew as the gentleman stepped into Duck's coach, and the lady hopped aboard Oliver's train. "I've got the railway inspector," said Duck cheerfully. "Here we go." "No, I do," shouted Oliver, and he chased after him. Just then Bulgy pulled up. "I'm here to take the leftover passengers." A man stepped forward. He was the real railway inspector, and had been standing behind the crowd of people so Duck and Oliver couldn't see him. "Well, if I can't get on a train," he said, "I suppose I could take the bus. Oh, these are dreadful seats." Bulgy heard what he had said and reversed quickly. I'll give that man the worst bus ride of his life for saying that. And he raced away as fast as he could. Later that day, Duck arrived at Knapford Station. His passengers got out and the gentleman began walking toward him. "Oh my," said Duck, "he's going to congratulate me on giving him such an excellent train ride." But the man had a different idea. "Excuse me," he said, "but where might I apply to become a ticket collector?" "What?" said Duck in shock. "You're not the railway inspector?" "What? No, of course not. Well, I've been a lot of things in the past, actually. A fisherman, signalman, a truck driver for a while, but the last time I took a drive, an engine chased me right off a cliff." Duck didn't listen to the rest. "Oh dear," he said, "if I don't have the railway inspector, then Oliver must have him." Oliver puffed in a few minutes later, but the railway inspector wasn't on board. "Where did she go?" asked Duck. "She got off at the docks a few hours ago. She was just a regular passenger, not the railway inspector." "So we've both lost the railway inspector," said Duck sadly. "Sir Topham Hatt will not be happy." Just then Bulgy drove by and a man leaned his head out the window. "Excuse me, Mr. Bus, but I am the railway inspector and I deserve better treatment than this." "There he is," said Oliver. "Wait here," said Duck. "I'll go and try and stop Bulgy." Oliver didn't want to wait at the station, but he knew it had to be done. Duck chased Bulgy all over Sodor, but every time Duck would go near him, Bulgy would cut off from the road. He even took the passengers into the narrow-gauge railway, but his extra driving caused him to run out of fuel right when he left the hills. The passengers were very upset. "You miserable bus," they said. "Now we're stranded, and on the 4th of July, too. We're going to miss the fireworks." Bulgy felt very silly. "I'm sorry," he said, but the passengers didn't care, especially the railway inspector. "This is going on my report for sure," he said. "I can see the headline already. Sodor bus kidnaps handsome railway inspector against his will. Ugh, this railway is getting a bad review for sure." Just then, Duck puffed down Gordon's Hill. He saw Bulgy right away, and the passengers waved him down. "Please take us to the station," they said. "We're tired and want to go home." "I wish I could," said Duck, "but I don't have a coach." "But I do," said a voice. Oliver had come from the other direction with his coach from the station. "Well done, Oliver," said Duck. "Great thinking, and just in time, too." The railway inspector was not impressed. "This is the worst railway ever," he said snootily. "Mr. Inspector," said Duck, "if I may, my friend Oliver and I had a falling out last night, and we didn't talk to each other this morning. Because of that, Bulgy accidentally took you instead of one of us. We're terribly sorry, sir, for the mix-up, that is." The railway inspector looked around. "Well," he said, "I'm still not impressed with what I've seen today, but it appears you two have solved your differences and put the railway before yourselves. You don't see dedication like that on every railway. Very well. Please tell your fat Sir Topham Hatt to you, sir," said Duck sternly. Yes. Tell your Sir Topham Hatt that I will return in a few months to do another evaluation. In the meantime, fix this bus, and don't let him pull passengers ever again. He would be better off as a chicken coop." And the railway inspector stepped aboard the train. "Well done, Oliver," said Duck. "You did it." "No," said Oliver. "We did it. Come on, let's head home to our little western." And the two set off to Elsbridge Station. "Happy 4th of July!" shouted Oliver happily as the fireworks exploded overhead.